Lesson 2, where we will learn how to build the foundations of a visual factory using the 5S methodology. This will cover the definition of 5S, benefits, implementation steps, and developing accountability and responsibility. Just like cement for a building foundation, 5S provides the foundation for visual control. It is a 5-step process in which each step is a prerequisite for the next. The primary objective of 5S is to create a clean, orderly environment, an environment where there is a place for everything and everything is in its place. It enables anyone to distinguish between normal and abnormal conditions at a glance. 5S is a systematic way to improve the workplace processes and products through employee involvement. To implement 5S, form a core team of people that will champion the 5S implementation. As a team, determine the 5S objectives, goals, and implementation phases. Follow the plan, do, check, and act, but don't spend too much time planning. When beginning a 5S implementation, select an easy work area so that you can guarantee success. This will smooth the way for more difficult areas. Finally, set up timelines and accountability into the system to ensure full participation and completion of any assigned task. The first of the 5S is sort. The goal is to eliminate all unneeded tools and materials and create a space free of clutter. Sort is a two-part process in which employees identify what is not needed and managers and supervisors take responsibility for disposition of those items. This is often called red tagging because it calls for a simple red tag to be placed on items that are not needed for work. Keeping only essential items leads to fewer hazards and less clutter. Sort will help get rid of problems such as tools and materials impeding workflow, wasted time looking for parts, tools, and products, stockpiling unnecessary and expensive inventory, safety hazards resulting from clutter. Sort is foundational to visual control system because by decluttering, we are preparing our space for a visual system where we can see things right away. To implement sort, first identify the red tag targets. The team should select a 5S application area in which type of items to tag. This could be warehouse items such as raw materials, parts, in-process inventory, and products. Equipment such as machines, jigs, tools, fixtures, etc. Or space such as the floor area, storage racks, bins, etc. After deciding on the red tag targets, the team should discuss and create guidelines on how to decide what stays and what goes. There are three main factors that help you determine this: the usefulness of the item to perform the work at hand, the frequency with which the item is needed, and the quantity of the item needed to perform the work. After defining the sorting criteria, the next step is to create the red tags. On the red tag, key information to include are the following: where the item was found, what is the name of the item, what date was it tagged, and what action should be taken. Next is to attach the red tags. This should be a short and powerful event with everybody included. Employees will tag the items to indicate that they should be removed. Red tag items will be brought to the red tag holding area for evaluation. Evaluate the red tag items. Don't throw out or sort the red tag items yet. Employees will perform an evaluation. Some key questions are: do we move the item to a new location? Do we store the item away from the work area? Do we hold the item in the area for further evaluation? Do we dispose of the item? How do we dispose the item? Examples of disposition are resale, donation, recycling, or moving it to the trash. Finally, document what you have tagged. The red tag register highlights key information from the red tag in order to locate it and to track the company assets. The second is set in order. Only start this step once the sort phase is finished. This phase will be useless if the workspace is still cluttered. The goal of this step is to organize the work area that best supports the employees doing the work. It ensures that there is a place for everything and everything is in its place. Set in order means each item is arranged so that anyone can see where it is kept, can easily pick it up, use it, and return it to its proper place. Not having what you need on hand and having to search for that item creates waste. Because all materials, tools, and equipment have specific locations, you can easily take them out and put them back. Searching and retrieval time is also reduced. The principle of first in, first out is practiced. The 4 R's are in place: right item, right place, right quantity, and right method. Set in order focused on arranging tools and equipment, thus minimizing the time looking for tools, which is essential to other lean concepts such as setup reduction. There are three factors to consider in set in order. First, plan where something should be stored. Identify appropriate storage options, which includes the floor, racks and shelving, storage bins, etc. Label clearly each item and its storage area. When arranging equipment, tools, and supplies, consider the sequence of operations and frequency of use. This diagram shows some guidelines in assigning designated locations for necessary items. First, place items that are frequently used as close to the point of use as possible. Items that are needed regularly but are currently stored far away can be moved close to the point of need. Infrequently used items might be kept nearby but out of the way of high-use items that are needed every day. Items not used at all must be kept, but it must be stored separately with clear identification. Next, plan how it should be stored. For example, organize files and storage using color code to make it easy to identify materials at a glance. Store similar items together. Some items may require special conditions for long-term storage. Some chemicals cannot be stored at a high or low temperatures, or metals may rust in damp environments. You may also create shadow boards. Finally, ensure that people follow these rules. After eliminating the clutter with sort and organizing with set in order, now it's time to sanitize with shine. Shine is the removal of dirt, grime, and dust from the workplace. It includes three primary activities such as getting the workplace clean, maintaining its appearance, and using preventive measures to keep it clean. When we clean an area, it is inevitable that we will also do some inspection of machinery, equipment, and work conditions. Remember to keep everything in top condition so that when someone needs to use something, it's ready. Shine turns the workplace into a clean, bright place to work. Keeping the equipment and surroundings in great shape leads to fewer injuries and less downtime, which equates to higher morale and higher productivity. Work areas that contain contamination such as dust, dirt, or oil are prone to cause product defects, equipment and process malfunction, as well as safety hazards to employees. On the other hand, a clean environment enables workers to notice malfunctions in equipment such as leaks, vibrations, breakages, and misalignment. Shine allows for surroundings to be bright and helps us see when things are not in its place, which is foundational to visual systems. There are 5 steps that needs to be done in order to make your place shine. First, determine shine targets. This could be your warehouse items, equipment, or space. Second, determine shine assignments by dividing the work area into sections and assigning specific areas to individuals. Cleanliness is the responsibility of every employee. In order to make sure everyone participates, establish a schedule for routine cleaning as well as deep cleaning. Third, determine shine methods. Identify what is it to be clean in each area and perform the 5-minute shine. There is actually a lot that can be done in 5 minutes of focused cleaning. And then create standards for shine procedures so that people will know what procedures to follow in order to use their time efficiently. Fourth, prepare the tools and materials required. Apply set-in-order techniques for the necessary cleaning supplies, storing them where they are easy to find, use, and return. Finally, start cleaning. A few suggestions in cleaning would be to sweep dirt from floor cracks, wall corners, and around pillars. Wipe off dust and dirt from wall windows and floors. Be thorough about cleaning dirt, scraps, oil, dust, sand, paint, and other foreign matters from all surfaces. Use cleaning agents when sweeping is not enough to remove dirt. Once daily cleaning and periodic cleanups become a habit, we can start to incorporate systematic inspection procedures into our shine procedure. First, determine inspection targets. This will be the same as the shine targets chosen. Second, determine cleaning inspection methods. Decide as a group on the type of inspection and cleaning to be carried out. Procedures or steps should be written up near each target area, and checklists should be made in order to ensure inspections are taking place. Third, Assign cleaning or inspection jobs. Have the operators of the equipment carry out the shine inspection and necessary cleaning. Fourth, implement shine inspection. Remember to use your senses when inspecting equipment. Look for oil leaks, wear, etc. Listen for changes in the sound of the machine. Try and detect unusual odors. Try and detect unusual vibrations in the machines. Fifth, implement shine maintenance. The two types of maintenance are instant maintenance and requested maintenance. Operators know what level of maintenance work they can handle by themselves immediately. If it is a slight defect, the operator fixes it. If operator determines that the defect or problem is too difficult to handle alone or immediately, he requests assistance from the maintenance team through his supervisor. Once the first three steps are in place, the next step is to focus on standardizing best practices. Without a clear standard, there can be no way to create accountability, monitor adherence, or make improvements. Standardization is the process of ensuring that tasks and procedures are carried out in a consistent manner. Standardize is the result that exists when the first three pillars, sort, set in order, and shine, are properly maintained. By creating standards, people will understand that these are meant to maintain the gains of 5S. Standardization seeks to maintain the first three S, which means ensuring that whatever cleanliness and orderliness was achieved should be maintained. It also helps to do the right thing the right way every time. Furthermore, standardization empowers the people to know how to act rather than just giving them responsibility of sustaining the gains. This way, each employee knows what he needs to do, when he needs to do it, and exactly how to do it. Standardization gives the organization a roadmap going to sustain, as it follows us to practice the way we act. In order to standardize, roles and responsibilities must be clearly and consistently applied. They should have a clear understanding of their daily and weekly sort, set in order, and shine tasks. Their responsibilities should be clearly written out on a checklist or a chart so they can be easily accessed throughout the day. To prevent backsliding, integrate 3S duties into regular work activities. Make it a part of their daily routine. Once the steps are in place, evaluate performance at regular intervals. Check on how well 3S conditions are being maintained. In association to the routines created, visual tools and documents will not in themselves sustain 5S. The fifth S is to make it a habit of maintaining the momentum of the previous 4S to ensure sustainability of the system. Sustain is defined as making the habit of properly maintaining correct procedures. Sustain step places emphasis on being able to forge a workplace with good habits and discipline. You will notice immediate results after you implement the 5S method, but the key to long-term success is diligence. Without sustain, we revert back to our old wasteful ways, such as unneeded items will begin to pile up again, machines would fall back into disrepair, walkways would get cluttered, tools would go missing, communication begins to fail. Sustain phase ingrains visual workplace practices into our culture. The best way to sustain is to properly implement the first 4S to their full extent, so that a culture tends to grow out of the efforts made. It's like restoring an old car. Once you've put that much effort into making it shine again, you are more reluctant to let it slip into disrepair. Build awareness of the importance of 5S through retraining and publicize the system by developing 5S news, posters, slogans, etc. Give your staff the time to do the steps correctly. For example, designate the 15 minutes before lunch and shift end as shine time. During this time, their main focus is cleaning and organizing according to their checklists. Create a structure of how and when 5S activities will be implemented, and then create a reward system. Publicize success stories and provide appropriate recognition to team members. 5S newsletters, displays, and awards are excellent ways to build employee morale and motivation. To better appreciate 5S, here's a case study on implementation of 5S methodology in a metalworking company. 5S was implemented in a machine cell used in the welding process of cranes with a view to making the workstation more efficient, and safer. Before the work was initiated, the team met for a brief training and explained the principles to be implemented. After this training session, the team visited and provided a critical analysis of the machining cell in order to prepare a course of action for the activity. Many of the tools in the machine cell were found to be obsolete, damaged, or simply useless for the work to be undertaken. Sorting of materials, tools, and necessary support items allowed for an increase in space in the cell and reduced both confusion and time spent looking for the required tools. The workbenches and cupboards were found unsuitable for the work being done. The set-in-order phase began with the reutilization of all the existing structures in the machining cell. The new workbench is far more efficient, and the creation of a shadow board enables operators not to waste time looking for the tools and lifting accessories. The final task in the set-in-order phase consisted of developing a new layout and placing all the floor markings. Due to these changes, the distances covered by operators when carrying out everyday tasks were reduced. The transport of materials also became smoother and more efficient. The floor pavement surface was painted in gray to reduce the absorption of oils and facilitate cleaning by operators. In addition, risk areas were identified by means of safety marking. The machining cell looked rather disorganized and dirty. Besides generating a large quantity of filings due to the cutting of pieces, the operation itself discharges a substantial amount of oil onto the area surrounding the machine, which results from the lubrication required. This not only causes a negative impression but also makes the cell dangerous for operators. A checklist of basic daily tasks was applied to the cell, and one built a shadow board during this stage where all the tools required for this routine cleaning procedure are now stored. In order to maintain the first 3S, documentation of all the procedures and principles to follow are created. This also sets out the routines which are to be fully implemented in the operator's professional practice. But the routines created, the visual tools and documents will not sustain 5S, although they provide great assistance. To sustain the initiatives, operators are encouraged to maintain their workstations in line with the 5S implemented. The 5S audits was conducted monthly in all of the 5S areas. Fundamental values involved such as self-discipline, politeness, respect, commitment, pride, and the sense of a job well done was also instrumental to maintain the 5S initiatives. Indeed, the implementation of 5S methodology has allowed for the simple solution of problems without great investments, but which have produced an extremely positive impact. By observing the work carried out, it was perceived that when the cleaning and organization processes are executed, the operator's performance and productivity are also enhanced. This is a direct consequence of workers being able to find everything faster without making mistakes in a more ergonomic and safer manner, thus executing their tasks more effectively. Now, in order for the 5S system to be successful, we will discuss that the most important factor is the commitment, participation, and involvement of everyone. Who knows a work area best than the ones who are directly working in that specific area? When implementing the first step of 5S, sorting must be owned by employees who do the work in a specific area. Also, encourage work area owners to identify set locations for needed items. A custom checklist developed by employees to cover key points for needed items and cleanliness is much more meaningful than a boilerplate checklist. The definition of cleanliness and the checklist will change and improve over time, particularly if it is created by employees and used by them to maintain their standard. During sorting, employees may raise concern about the classification and disposition of items. Supervisors should listen carefully to any concern and try to address this, but remain firm to remove items that are clearly not needed. Representation is important in organization of shared areas like supply closets or common areas for multi-shift production. A team representing all users of the areas would allow user-specific concerns to be addressed. Allow employees to flag hidden problems uncovered by cluttered dust or grease and provide resources to correct problems. Motivate workers to continue to make improvements in their workplace on a regular basis. Organizing items for ease of use is not a one-time activity. Set does not mean set and forget. Item locations will likely be reset from time to time as employees exercise the new setup. This is not a problem, but an example of continuous learning and improvement. To reiterate the message of this lesson, there are three key ideas in building the foundations of a visual factory using the 5S methodology. First, 5S is a systematic way to improve the workplace through employee participation. Second, 5S is foundational to visual system because it prepares our workplace by creating a clean, orderly environment where there is a place for everything and everything is in its place. Third, 5S helps us practice sustaining improvements in the workplace.